Seems irrelevant.
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you gonna give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation, at least.
From the letter we found beside the body. At the very least, I'd say it ties McCaffrey to the scene.
Circumstantial.
Did you read about the woman who stabbed her husband and then pushed him in front of the car? That's the cop who caught her. 3 blondes walk into a bar. You'd think one of them would have seen it.
Grosvenor McCaffrey! Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
Son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
Hurry! You can still catch him! Be careful! He looks dangerous!
There he is, officer!
Give it up, LAPD! McCaffrey, you're under arrest on suspicion of murdering Evelyn Summers.
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. You don't think that asshole Jameson did it, do you? Whoever did it. At least it wasn't that Italian.
To an American Century
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the dog?
KTI, Los Angeles.
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we?
Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young Phelps.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
How long is this gonna take? That's correct. You gonna struggle with something, or can I go back to sleep? That's correct. Where's the phone? Afraid not.
Looks like I made a mistake.
You were smoking a cigarette in the other room? No, sorry.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
Can I post it there? You know anything about this mess? You trying to sit me down? No.
You don't like McCaffrey, do you, Tiernan?
He's full of the common man routine, but he props up a bar like the rest of us. Evelyn thought he was going to be a great novelist. And he had nothing but vitriol for her.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Can you give me a coffee?
You're lying, Tiernan. You'd been fighting with her. You fought, and...
I'm not lying! She got up and left! That was it!
Is the captain in?
She left, but she came back. She bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. She wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer, and McCaffrey was a hero. McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
I might as well have. I kicked her out. She had nowhere to go.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
We use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Don't fool around. Were you there? Now you want me to lie?
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench. I think you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. A big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
This guy was willing to write his own mother after I sweated him.
I didn't want to arrest the kid, so I gave him a dusting he wouldn't forget.
His mother would be proud of him catching all those criminals.
I've been in this job 20 years. I never thought it was done. You left at midnight, correct?
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there?
How about half of Augusta Summers' last correspondence with her daughter?
What are you talking about?
After you were done beating Evelyn, you searched her and found her mother's letter. That old lady's anguish amused you.
I know nothing about a letter or Evelyn's goddamn mother.
So what was it doing on your writing desk?
I don't know, but if I didn't put it there, somebody else did. Try exercising your powers of deduction on that.
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey.
You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
I don't believe you, Grosvenor. The evidence says that you killed her.
You can prove that I wanted to kill Evelyn?
Tiernan is prepared to testify that you threatened Evelyn's life in his presence.
Self-preservation. That's understandable. Okay, I'll level with you. Tiernan killed Evelyn. He came to me for help. I listened to him, and he explained why he did it.
Tiernan went to you for help. You expect me to buy that?
That's how it went down. I told him he made a terrible mistake, but he would be throwing his life away if he went to the cops. I took his things and told him I would dispose of them.
But you didn't.
Speak to Tiernan. He'll give it up.
They weren't even his prints, and he still confessed.
Guy was willing to write his own mother after I sweated him.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
I didn't want to arrest the kid,
Phelps,
so I gave him a
1247.
dusting he wouldn't forget.
How can I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly
under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks for your help.
I'm busy now. Can I ignore you some other time?
To get an ID.
You spoken to McCaffrey? I can go? It's all been cleared up?
Not quite. We have one more question we need to ask, James. Then I think we will be done.
Sure. Go ahead.
So Evelyn passed out, and you walked out. What happened next?
I woke up in the morning, very hungover. I thought Evelyn would have come back.
Is the captain in? No way.
I know you're lying, James. You went out looking for her. Tell me what really happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. How can you say I wasn't in that hotel room?
Anyone seen where Miss Wells went? That's correct.
You wound up at McCaffrey's. You were still incredibly drunk. You passed out on his floor. It's time to tell me what really happened.
McCaffrey woke me up the next morning, and he showed me the lug wrench and the letter and the box, and he said I came in with him last night. He said that I killed Evelyn, and that it was all over the radio, and that he would protect me. And I don't know, detective, for the life of me, I can't remember a goddamn thing. And I was angry with her. Really angry. I could have done it. Was it me?
Where's the phone? Code not. I'm not ready.
Guy was willing to write his
Wait
own
here.
mother after I sweated him.
I didn't want to arrest the kid, so I gave him a dusting he wouldn't forget.
Ugh, sister, I was so tight I couldn't walk.
They weren't even his print, and he still confessed.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw. It changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge?
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge, beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore! She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country. I could have...
You beat her because she stole from you, because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch. What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her.
Grosvenor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
Congratulations, boys. You bagged the fine catch. Another red to boot. Grand. Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind. This McCaffrey creature shows no remorse, and neither will the grand jury. You would have to walk a long mile to find a better candidate for an unmarked plot in the prison graveyard.
We have lost most of Shaughnessy and Dunn's squad. The gunny is dead, first platoon's in worse shape. That medic is either crazy or the bravest man alive.
Can we rally with the first and try for the Namboots?
It's sheer to the left. To the right, it goes right through a pass with 2 Namboots and enfilade.
Mate,
we can lose everyone.
Lieutenant! Get back off this fucking bridge! They'll start walking the mortars back to their own positions! We only have minutes!
I'm in charge here, Sergeant!
Get your men off the bridge, Lieutenant!
What's your unit, Sergeant?
We don't have time for this, Lieutenant!
What's your unit, Sergeant?
I company 22nd Marines, Lieutenant, and we just saved your ass by fording the river.
My orders are to reconnoiter the...
I think that point is now moot! You have 10 men left! My orders are to save what's left! Move out!
Well done, lads. You did well with the Summers case. But we have a problem. The examiner received a new letter today.
Do you mind if I take a look, Ray?
Go right ahead. They've both been rinsed in gasoline like the previous letters, so I can't lift a print.
The thing was, he was a really nice guy. I felt lousy tolerating him.
No one else but the killer knew about this message. Another snippet from the Shelley poem. Suffer woes which hope thinks infinite, to forgive wrongs darker than death or night. If the note is from the Dahlia maniac, he definitely also killed Teresa Terrell.
Mal and I agree.
But where does that leave us? If this is the Dahlia killer, and he is responsible for the Tarrelson murder, not to mention the Muller
Hang
case.
on a moment, Skipper.
Let me finish, Rusty. We have 5 birds in hand and none in the bush. The department will not survive a scandal if we have to let them all go without catching a fiend first. Your careers will be over for a start, gentlemen.
Looking in wonder.
Fuck it. I knew this run was too good to be true.
I hid myself within a fountain in a public square.
You like that stuff? What is it supposed to mean?
It's supposed to... Forget what it's supposed to. What does he want?
Where are you going with this, Cole?
He's obviously taunting us. He believes he's far more intelligent than we are.
Okay, it's some kind of story, right? A guy that God hates, chains him up.
It's an allegory, Rusty.
What? Story with two meanings. A symbolic meaning. But that's what he wants us to think.
Could he be using it literally? Within a fountain in a public square? Could it be that easy?
Can somebody tell me what the fuck is going on?
The fountain in Pershing Square. Come on, we have a clue. Captain, thanks, Ray.
Be careful, Phelps. This is his game you're playing now.
I got this gadget whiz putting recording devices into place for him.
Isn't that the cop who solved the big case and got promoted?
The thing was, he was a really nice guy. I felt lousy tolerating him.
Isn't that the cop who caught the guy that was pretending to be dead?
I'm thinking of moving up.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
All those cases, Rusty. What have I been telling you all along?
We gotta get this guy.
I know. Enough women have died.
Yeah, and it's our asses on the line too, Phelps. You heard what the captain said. The department is not gonna take responsibility for all those bad convictions.
Success is a double-edged sword.
Let's just get this sick pervert and have it done with. Rather you than me, Phelps. You know the local hobos use that as a retreat.
There is a cave, all overgrown with trailing, odorous plants which curtain out the day. Where next? Elizabeth Short, Betty Short, Black Dahlia.
Elizabeth Short's social security card.
Jesus Christ.
That's not all. There's another stanza from Shelley.
Can you work it out? You got a city map? See if you can work out where he's taking us. I don't like this freak leading us around by the nose.
Over here, Rusty.
Hold on, I'm coming.
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going?
He's extremely dangerous. I doubt if he will give up easily.
Shoots me down to the fucking ground. We clip this fuck and we get citation. What a day to be a cop. Depends on pushing Parker to be able to shove this up.
Any Century unit, possible 415 and L.A느wa르 Street.